Hello friends, in this video I'll introduce you to Databricks, Azure Databricks. Then we'll see how to connect to Data Lake from Databricks. Then how to process data residing in Data Lake from Databricks. And how to authenticate Databricks to Data Lake. How to mount data folder which is in Data Lake to Databricks. Then how to write processed version of data in Databricks back to Data Lake. Azure Databricks is a tool which has the ability to process and transform big data in cloud. This tool is basically a managed implementation of Spark in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about building clusters. It has user-friendly interface to run code on clusters interactively. You can use different languages like Scala, Python, R or SQL to process the data in Databricks. In this demo, I will explain you how to connect to Data Lake with the help of Databricks. And we'll also explain you how to do processing and analysis on data in Databricks. We'll start with uploading the file in Data Lake storage, Gen2. And once the data is in the Data Lake, we'll authenticate Databricks to Data Lake using service principal. And we'll copy the data back to Data Lake. The data is actually processed in Databricks, and then the data is copied back to Data Lake. And mount data folder of Data Lake to Databricks, and then we'll process this data. Data can easily be processed in Databricks, and if you know any language like Scala or R or Python, you can do this processing within Databricks. DBFS is Databricks file system, and you can mount data like storage to DBFS. Mounting a file-based storage to DBFS allows access to data from the storage. Azure Data Lake can be mounted into Databricks with the help of Service Principal. Service Principal is kind of an ID which can be used by various applications so as to access the resources in Azure. For this, you need to create an Azure Active Directory application and then create a secret key, which is like a password. And then you can give access to your created Azure Directory application on Azure resources and use application ID and secret key to access them. I have created a Data Lake Gen 2 account and Data Lake Gen 1 account. So first thing I'll do is I'll just upload an input file having some data into a container. In this container, I'll upload a CSV file. This is the file. I'll upload the file. It will take some time to upload the file. The CSV file is uploaded into the container, which we will be using for processing and analytics and analysis. So on this input CSV file, we'll do some analysis and processing in Databricks. Now I will search for Active Directory. And in Active Directory, click on App Registrations. In App Registration, we will register a new app and we'll give some meaningful name, Data Bricks. App, something like that. And then we'll register. Once your application is registered, you need to copy these two values. These are very important values. One is application ID and one is directory ID. This application ID uniquely identifies the application, and this directory ID or tenant ID uniquely identifies this Azure Active Directory instance. Now let's give access to Data Lake Gen 2 account. Since we have already created an app registration, since we have registered an app, now we'll give access to the service principal in this Data Lake Gen 2 storage account. So let's click on manage access. Here let's search for Databricks. Databricks app. Now we give access to the service principal. The access which I will give is read, write and execute. Till now we have created the service principal and we have given access to the service principal to our data lake storage Gen 2. Using the service principal we can access the data lake account. Now I am inside my Databricks account. Actually I am using Community Databricks Edition. Since with the free trial we are not able to create clusters, so I have created an account in Community Databricks Edition, and then I'll create cluster and then workspace and notebooks and run commands so as to mount the data from storage to Databricks and then do processing and then copy the data back to data lake. Now I'll create a cluster. Cluster can be defined as multiple systems which are logically interconnected in the same network, and it also provides a unified computing platform. So this is the cluster we'll create. Now we go to the workspace and we create a notebook which is a web-based interface to the document that contains runnable code, visualization and native text that are organized in cells in the notebooks. So in this first cell, these are the commands which are required to mount data lake to Databricks. Mounting means we create a layer on top of data lakes so that it can be used by Databricks to get the data. The third command here is the application ID. So application ID is equal to service principal ID. So we copy and paste it here. And the key over here is kind of a secret, which is like a password. So we provide the password which you copied while creating a secret. So in the client secret I copied this value, and in the endpoint we copy the directory ID which is shown in the screen over here. Now the configs variable is ready. So now I am using the mount point so as to display all the files and folders inside this mount location. So yes, we are able to list all the files and folders inside this mount point. So it's very easy to mount data lake to Databricks using the service principal, and we can easily access our folders with this mount point. Now we have mounted the Azure Storage Gen 2 account to Databricks. Now we will use this mount point and we will transform the data and write it back to Azure Data Lake Storage. So let's see how we can do that. So we'll create a new notebook. On processing, we'll do the processing. So first we'll give some title in the new cell. We will display, and it will show all the files and folders inside this mount point. Now we'll create another cell. So this command will produce the first few rows of the Excel file, of the CSV file. Now we are able to see the first few lines of this data. Now we extract this file as a data frame. So we have another command. Command will try to read the file in data frame format. Spark is a variable using which we can access the Spark session, and Spark session is kind of an entry point to Spark SQL. All the Apache Spark related information can be accessed from the Spark session. CSV method is used to load CSV file and return the results in data frame. Now we are passing the data frame inside the display command so as to display the data residing in the data frame. Now we are able to see the data here. So reading the data from an external source is a transformation operation. So regardless the size of the file, we are able to create a data frame quickly. Spark has a great feature to analyze the numerical columns in the data frame by using the command over here. So this describe method helps to read the data in the data frame. I have passed two columns, which is passenger count and trip distance, and in the output I can see three columns. First column is summary, describes the which are the attributes here, mean count, mean, then min, max. So passenger count, we can see 7285, this is a passenger count, and mean value more, and estimated standard deviation, this is the value, this is min value again, and max value. Passenger count should not be 0 because without passenger there can't be any ride, so we'll try to eliminate this 0, and we'll also try to eliminate the max value, which is 6, but in a car there can't be more than 5 people, so we will see how we can eliminate this. And this command is to delete the data, so we'll try to clean up the data in data frame. So we'll apply the where clause on the data frame. So here where passenger count is greater than 6 and trip distance greater than 0, so this data is filtered out. Only the rows where trip data is greater than 0, trip distance is greater than 0, only that output will appear in the rows will appear in the output. This command over here is to remove all the duplicate values. This particular cell, it has the command wherein we have tried to rename the columns. So by using Databricks, we have transformed the data, we have cleaned the data, and then now we are loading data back to data lake. So here I will show you how to load this data back. This is the right option, so as to load the data, write data back to data lake, and here the data is written in CSV and Parquet format. Here in this is the mounting location, and this is the folder in which this particular CSV file will be created in Data Lake Gen 2. In this demo, I have showed you how to mount data into Databricks and then explore the data and transform the data and write it back to Data Lake. Thanks for watching.